In this video, we're going to review how participant applications can get into the system via the public application link, and then how to approve them through the system. So the public application link is basically something you can send out to participants who might be interested in joining one of your programs, and they can apply directly online or have a parent help them apply directly online. And so this is a link that you can post to your website or email or somehow distribute externally. That link is going to be this one right here. So when you log in, you'll have a dashboard item that says system links. And you can go ahead and copy the link and send it out to people. So I'm going to go ahead and click this just so we can look to see what it looks like. I'm not going to fill it out today on this video because, as you can see, there's quite a few required fields, and it takes a little bit of time for me to go through and put in test data. But we'll go through and just take a look at what is required and what the application experience is kind of like for participants. So as you can see, the application is broken down by section. So you have basic info, education, health, family, and then the basic info of parents and guardians. So there's space for 2 parents and guardians. And then there's emergency contact info. And then in this system, it's going to ask for what program that participant is applying for. And if you select Bridge, then a bunch of different fields will populate that are required. Some are required for them to answer. If you select a different program, say Pathway to College, there's going to be a different set of information asking about high school, and then some college. And then if you select Education Empowerment, there's no extra information. And then again, there's a little extra information if you select some of these other ones. So that's the kind of experience the participant's going to have. Because there are a lot of required fields, it might be good to just recommend that people have all of their information ready when they go to fill out the application so it doesn't time out or anything. And then once they press submit, they'll just be taken to a thank you page, and their application will go into the system. So I'm going to press back real quick, and we're going to go see what that looks like from the administrative point of view. So when you log into the system, you see a different side of it than that public application link, obviously. So the applications come through, and they don't automatically go into the participants section because we sort of want to vet them before we approve them into the system. So if you click on participants, you're not going to see all of the applications. Instead, if you hover over admin functions and navigate to this approve applications area, then you'll see all the applications that have come through that are waiting to be approved before they will show up in the participants section. So there's 2 separate lists on this page. One is for applied and one is for waitlist. And so it's pretty simple. There are a couple actions you can take in this section. You can either decline the application right away, and it will go in a decline bucket, and then you can reverse that if you ever need to. Or you can view the application, and this is how you can either approve it or waitlist it. So if you're ready to approve the application right away, you can press the approve application button. If you're waitlisting it, as certain programs are going to be doing, then you can press waitlist application, and it will actually timestamp that when you waitlisted it, so that if spots open up, then you can assign who gets first spot, second spot, etc. So you can move this application back to the applied if you want. You can also approve it directly from here, and you can move it back from there, and you can decline it like I said above. I'm going to go ahead and move it back to the applied list so you can see Erica's here. And then I'm going to approve it just to show you what it looks like, but keep in mind that if you approve the application from the waitlist area down here, it's going to be the same exact process. So I'm going to approve the application. Once it looks good, you can approve. And it'll take you to this pop-up regardless of whether this person was in the system or not. And so sort of like when you go to add participants, the system wants to make sure that you're not going to add a duplicate participant. And so it will check to make sure that there's no one that matches the first and last name from that application. So if I changed my name to, say I was approving this application for Pat Wheeler instead of Erica, you can see that no one showed up. And so I would just press this is not a duplicate application button. However, because I am approving it for Erica, I can see that there is already an Erica record in the system. So if I were to approve it now, then I'd be creating 2 Erica Wheeler records, participant records, which I don't want to do, as we discussed earlier, because it's not good to have, data that's out of sync. So instead, I'm going to say merge with participant. And so what this is going to do is it's going to bring up just a pop-up where it's going to ask me which information I want to choose for that single record I'm creating. So I'm going to press that button, and it'll come up with this big list of information about Erica. And so the system at the top has help text that says, information from the new application is on the right. Data from the system is selected by default. So that just means that information from the new application is here. So this is all of the information that was recently submitted about Erica via that public link. And all the information on the left is information that is from her participant record from this area of the system that exists currently. And so by default, the system will select the information that's currently in the system just because it's likely to be a little more filled out than the application. That's not always the case. But your job here is just to go through and select which information you want to keep. So most of it's going to probably be the same, but right off the bat, I can see that the phone number here in the system, it's 1111111. On her application, her most recent application, it's different. And so if I were doing this in real life, I would probably choose the most recent information because the phone number could have changed. And so you want to overwrite you want this number to be the correct number, and you want to overwrite this information because that's probably old. So in that case, I would select the right-hand side. So whichever side the little bubble is filled out is what side the system is going to keep. So in this case, it's going to keep the 333 number. And as I go down, all of the sides are the same. Except the address. So this address looks like it's changed. So it went from this to this one. And since I said this is the most recent application, I'm going to assume that they moved. And so I want to keep the most recent address. So I'm going to keep going down. Oh, and I see here that the email has changed. It used to be Margaret at CiviCore, now it's Margaret at Yahoo. And so again, because I want the most recent updated information, I'm going to tell the system to keep the Yahoo address and get rid of the CiviCore address. And continuing down, all the other information looks to be the same, so nothing has really changed on her record. And so everything else looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and approve and merge. And so this is going to merge those two together. So now when I go to the participants section, I'm only going to see one Erica record, and it's going to have the most updated information on it from the application. So if we search for Erica, so the fields I remember that I updated are the mom's email address and primary contact number. Yeah, so you can't see all of them because I haven't edited, but basically it's merged those two together, and it's kept that most updated information about Erica. So I just want to jump back in here and show you one more thing. So if you don't expect to have participants applying through that public application link a lot, and instead they're going to be applying through a paper application, one thing you can do in order to follow the process that I've laid out here is you can press this green button that says Add New Application. And so if you have the paper application sitting in front of you, this will just allow you to put in that information into the system. It's exactly the same as the link that I showed you earlier. And that way that the information will be funneled into the system the same way that the public online applications are. So you can follow the same procedures. So if you have paper applications, then just feel free to do that and then submit. And in that case, the paper application record will just go into the applied list just the same way that the Erica application record we were just working with showed up. So that's how you can approve applications in the EOYDC database. Thanks.